Hello everyone and welcome back to the Bearynea tribe here in niche early access version 0.5.1 where we are about to have a whole heck of a lot of hybrid babies. Are you guys ready for this? Dun 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 dun! Oh my gosh! No way, we ended up with a sickly little sneezer. No, not good, not good, not good. Oh dear. Alright, well welcome back everyone. And we have just welcomed in some brand new babies and I think we're about to welcome in a new servant to help us out, or I should say slave, to help us out and take care of this very rough, tough, and tumble tribe, who's turning out to be far more aggressive than pretty much any tribe we've ever played with before because they happen to be made up of hybrids who carry a whole bunch of those Bearynea claws. The Bearynea snout and the Bearynea hind legs are hiding amongst many of our genes too, and the ideal mate for the females of this tribe tend to be the big, strong, tough, friendly Bearyneas, which we have not found a second one of just yet, but they haven't given up hope. But alright, so what to do first? Alright, well let's deal with this interloper. I think Miriam would, we'll say the food is actually kind of her command of intimidating and taking over this weaker member of the nicheling tribe. So we now have little Rami, who has no idea what she has just gotten into. Also, she kind of reminds me a little bit of Cheese for some reason. She's so cute. Oh my goodness, and she has one crippled paw, but that means that she's a little bit weak. And I think if we have creatures who are very weak that our Bearynea tribe runs into, who happen to have crippled paw or short-sighted eyes or other issues like that, then we might say, even though, you know, Rami here has a claw, so you think she would be able to fight him off, that they end up becoming kind of slaves of this tribe, which is a lot more aggressive than we've ever played before. But it makes a lot of sense because clearly she was kind of doing her own thing. She only has like 3 strength compared to Miriam's 7 though, so she has been overcome by a stronger tribe that has moved into her territory, and now she needs to offer up what things she can as food. So it doesn't look like she's very good. Wow, there's a lot of mole holes right here. I just realized there's like a lot of, oh my gosh, look how many moles there are nearby. Why are there so many moles nearby? I think that's what Miriam was after. She was hunting moles, and then she ended up getting captured by or excuse me, not Miriam. Rami was hunting moles, and she ended up getting captured by Miriam. So, we're gonna have to see how that's gonna work out. But for now, we're going to say, and we'll have to give her the little Omega ranking, and I'll actually give her like the orange. What color should we make her? Because she's like one of our yellow, maybe. Yeah, we'll give her the yellow markers. Well, no, yellow is kind of really cool looking. All right, we're going to give her the orange markers. And we're going to say that now she is a slave of the Bearynea tribe. And a lot of the tribe isn't really sure what they think about that. Like, especially, I don't think Beauty would be very okay with that. But she can't really fight with Miriam because Beauty is smaller than Miriam. She has a medium-sized body, not a large body. And Miriam has a lot of seniority and power in the tribe as a result. So, welcome. Sorry, little Rame. Let's go ahead and give her a new name for her new life here. Not the best life. She'll probably never have children, but she will at least be able to be a, okay, Nia. Nia is going to be her name. So let me give her name. So little Nia. Sorry, Nia. You have been captured by the Bearyeas, and unless you were freed by some kindly member of the tribe in the future, it is now her job to help gather up various nest materials, gather up different food, and to tend to whatever needs, like watching over the young of the tribe that the Bearyeas may have. So this is a very, very unfortunately exciting day for Nia, and we'll see. Right now she'll be having to spill all of the secrets of the moles that she was trying to gather food from. Alright, meanwhile, I think Miriam is a little cranky and ready to have her baby, so we'll put her right there. And we have some new babies! So we've got Lakori. Look at that! Beautiful fertility, super high fertility, and she has got spots and dots too, which I think is actually going to rescue a little Dukta here, other than the fact that he's sickly. And I think that Miriam and Fifi probably have very strong opinions about what to do with sickly babies. So, well, there's a cactus right there. Oh dear, but I don't want to be like super cruel to the sickly babies. I think that they'll just have to be abandoned. I think that's what we'll do. The sickly babies have to be abandoned by order of only the strongest survive. And if they end up wandering back, they end up wandering back. I just don't have it in me to like drown them or force them to pick from cactuses. I just can't do it. But okay. First things first, first babies first. Beauty's next child with Gaston. They actually end up having lots and lots of healthy, beautiful children. And her name is Cypra. That's a lovely name. So Cypra right here. And she is also a double Bearynea clawed child. Ooh, look at that. And she's got big body. Oh, wow. She has got big body and she's got 8 strength. So she and Owlclaw are now like some of the strongest in the entire tribe and probably going to stand out as a result. So that's pretty awesome. All right, we'll have little Nina scooch over. And then Beauty is probably going to want to have another child because she does not have very much longer. Yeah, I think she only has a couple days left. There we go. And we'll have Gaston like show off how to crack open nuts to little Nina. And then let's see, we'll pluck that grass away. I think Owlclaw is getting a little bit impatient. He's extremely strong, so I don't think, even though he doesn't have armored body or anything to defend himself the way that our Yukir tribe does, then I think he's safe to wander. So we'll let him go ahead and kind of wander around. Very independent. Again, kind of like our Yukirs, but in a totally different way and for different reasons. Speaking of independent, we will have Elise go ahead and destroy that berry bush because they don't really put much stock in spending a lot of time actually plucking berries off of bushes, this branch of the tribe, unless you happen to be Janet's line. And then Janet is very distressed because her son has been born and he is sickly this time around. Very, very, very sad. Okay, let's go ahead and figure out what he's going to be named. Oh gosh, there's going to be a big name. Let's see. Let's go with Casti, which apparently means in pain, which unfortunately, I wonder if he's going to end up becoming like the god of children. But I wonder, do we have to make him eat like berries to put him out of his misery? Oh geez, that's really sad. Actually, I wonder if that's what oh no, I made myself super sad with this idea, but it does make a lot of sense. So we'll send little Sakuro out, and I think he might start following around the bigger, tougher Owlclaw, who was born the same time. You can already see the size difference between the two of them. And I think he really looks up to Owlclaw, so they'll kind of wander off and figure out what 2 young Bearynea hybrid boys can get up to while they're juveniles near the nest. And I think over here, Janet has really painful decisions to make with Soku. They're right next to some poison berries, and I think that Fifi and Miriam in particular would really make it clear that any sickly children under their watch should just be thrown into the water because it risks the whole tribe and there's no point in the weak surviving. So I wonder if Soku would actually encourage little Casti to eat the poison berries and just try to like quietly go to sleep that way, which is really morbid and sad. Or if we would actually have Janet like flee with her child and like release him in the far away. Or maybe even, I wonder if Soku would take his son. That could happen too. Soku might take his son and try to like live on the fringes. Oh, and they do have doubled up home island immunity. We definitely probably don't want to get rid of this little guy though. Oh man. And his father can eat poison berries. What to do? All right, well, first thing is we definitely have to get away. Can't do anything with the baby right now. Thankfully, Miriam and Fifi are distracted, and Beauty are all distracted with their own babies and their own nest. So I think Janet, let's go ahead, we'll have her scoot over, and we'll move her over here. And then I think that Soku will come over and hide in these bushes. But we may have Soku flee with his son Casti, because just because he has doubled up home island immunity doesn't mean we can't use him as a breeder in the future. And he has super high fertility, and home island immunity, once it's gone, is gone for good. So it might actually be worth it to say that Soku is going to sneak off with their sickly son, and they'll run down over to this end where there's a few berry bushes that they can eat from, and he can teach Casti how to eat the clams, and then I won't have to kill him, which will make me happy. All right. So, ooh, a double Bearynea claw child with red fur. Wow, he's really powerful looking. What is his? Oh, and he has level 8 strength too. Oh boy. Owlclaw might actually have some competition. I think the only thing that is going to make Owlclaw stronger is the fact that Owlclaw has higher fertility, and Owlclaw is older. So I think that Fifi would be extremely proud though, because she just had one fiery, strong young son, and that means that he's going to have quite a lot of like upper hierarchy abilities in this tribe. All right, we'll name him Salsa, which is kind of nice because it's like salsa, which is spicy, but also using sol, which means the sun in Latin. So that's really nice. All right, so we have little Salsa, and Fifi's very, very proud of herself. Just had quite a strong son who might be able to become a contender for the leader of the tribe in the future if Owlclaw just conveniently happens to have something happen to him. So, this tribe might have a little bit more infighting than I anticipated. All right, let's see. Should I have Fifi jump over to Gaston? She does not have very long, but neither does Beauty. And I think that Fifi is probably super proud of her son right now, so I don't think she would go very far from his side. All right, we've got a lot going on. We have new slaves. I'm not going to call them servants, so we're just going to call it how it is. New slaves that Miriam has begun the practice of capturing, new babies born all over the place, and I do think that Soku and Kasti, because that is a really precious immunity gene actually, are going to flee over to the sidelines and hopefully stay in the shadows, which Soku is very good at doing by now. All right, babies? Babies? So many babies? What? Oh my gosh! Miriam, I think that Miriam would be very proud, and oh my gosh, it's a female. And maybe have some really strong opinions over Bearynea claw, or like sickly children and what should be done. Oh my goodness gracious. We have Bearynea snouted babies. Ooh, that's gonna take me a second to figure out what to do with. Oh my gosh, no way. Okay, we're never going to rename him, you guys, but Owlclaw's younger brother, just born, is Tata. Tata, the trickster god, has been reborn in the Bunya tribe, and he's got double Bearynea claws and a stinky tail. What? Oh, he's not quite as strong. He's also got medium body, so he is going to be the smaller, younger brother of Owlclaw. So Owlclaw still stands in for probably being the leader of this tribe for sure. The alpha is what I'll probably end up calling him. All right, is that all the babies we had this time? Yes, it is, but oh my gosh. I think Miriam would be so distressed and not really sure what to do for her daughter, but we do happen to have a servant who can probably take care of her daughter the entire time, and Miana. Miana. We're gonna name her Miana for Miriam's daughter, and she is actually, look at her, she's actually Bearynea snouted. So that's like the highest of the high. I think it's also very, very confusing to this tribe because they've never really had a Bearynea snouted child before. But it's also supposed to be like the highest revered thing ever. But she is sickly, so I don't think she's like the best example of the Bearynea snout that we could have. But I do think that Miriam would now command Nia to stay and to watch over her daughter. No way! Zala! Zala! Okay, Zala, it doesn't look like anything happened, but you need to defend yourself, Zala. We just had this really, really ugly rogue male show up. But I think that's what we may do, is if you're a higher ranking tribe member and you have a sickly child who you don't want like to have to throw off the side of a cliff, then I think that Miriam's changing the rules. Strong voice, because she has a Bearynea snout, a strong voice to scare enemies. That's so cool. I think that Miriam knows that they have to like give her daughter some space because she's sickly, and I mean they grew up next to the sickly cliffs, they know how this works. But as long as there's a servant who can stay nearby to take care of that sickly one and maybe end up having to have the disease along with them, then you know they can stick around. We captured a servant of our very own basically, and that means that we'll go ahead and have her be the nanny to this sickly child, so we'll have to see how that works out. Miriam I think is pretty excited about, oh my goodness. No, Zala! Oh no, Zala did end up becoming pregnant with this rogue. Curse you, rogue. Oh, no, he got both of them pregnant. It was Elise who got pregnant. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is terrible. Now we just have a whole bunch of like unwanted little sickly creatures in our tribe. What do we do? What do we do? Oh my goodness, what do I do with this guy? Do I like... Oh, okay, let's see. I mean, if I attack him, I'm gonna end up taking so much damage. But at the same time, we have a really high amount of strength. Zala, hang in there. Oh, Zala. And then, oh, at least he doesn't have nearly as much strength. But between the two of them, they told that rogue what for. But now, kind of in the same turn that we have to deal with having, like, slaves, or servants, or whatever you want to call them, Zala and Elise find themselves unexpectedly expecting. So I think we might end up turning their children into like permanent non-breeders. We cannot breed if they don't have the Bearynea traits really strongly, or if they have traits that would veer too strongly away from the Bearynea traits, and they cannot, like, they might end up becoming like just servants to the rest of the tribe. So we'll have to see how that works out. Salsa, we need to keep you away from all that nonsense. So I think that Fifi, let's see what's going on. Oh, and we have, yeah, that's right, Tata was just born. All right, and we'll have this little guy. Casti is gonna have to run for it. And Janet is going to make a comfortable little nest and really be missing her mate Soku. Soku will be trying to teach his son the ways of hiding in the bushes and staying out of the way. But Casti, I think will have really good... Will he be a good mate for any of my females in the future? Not sure. That doubled up home island immunity actually may not help me out quite as much as I thought it would. Also, I'm ending up with a lot of boys, so I need to be careful. And we are actually going to have a lot of sickly creatures. But I feel like this tribe, would they gather from cactus? I feel like whenever we have that issue, I always have people say, oh, you should get rid of them. So I feel like the tribe might get rid of them by like leaving them on the beach, and we'll say they cast them into the water. But if they're strong enough to climb back out, because we'll banish them, then good for them. So yeah, that actually might be what we'll do. Trial by water. We would, or like trial by whatever tough event we would like force on the poor little sickly ones. Kind of like what the Yukiris do with the snow, having to leave the child in the snow to see if they will end up surviving to their adulthood or not. So we'll say we throw these ones off a cliff, but if they can swim back up, then they'll end up being considered pretty strong even if they are sickly. So let's see. I think Owlclaw and his friend Sakura would be just roaming around the place, totally without a care in the world. Don't eat that, Sakura. You're going to die if you do. And let's see. Maybe little sister Sapira is wondering what's going on. And then let's see. Oh, Owlclaw can destroy that bush and be pretty excited because he's got really strong claws. And Beauty has one more child left in her. So we're going to have Gaston and Beauty have one more. Yes, okay. I was so worried for a second they wouldn't have one more child, and I was going to be so sad. And little Nina, I think, is enjoying these, chewing on these nuts, even though she technically shouldn't, because she should be more focused on, like, meat things. All right, and Miriam, I think Miriam's really proud of having just had a daughter with the Bearynea snout, because that's really cool. It actually is really cool. And that's kind of the ideal that they have been chasing since they followed their father Beast command to come to this island. So she might try to go ahead and have another one with Gaston. And I think Fifi would be interested in having another child with Gaston as well. So we'll have her start wiggling her way over there. Hopefully her son Salsa doesn't get eaten by something. But then what to do? I feel like these two may end up becoming servants, and I feel like Elise and Zola would be a little bit upset because they didn't want to have a child that was with that rogue, but if they don't have any Bearynea traits, then they're just going to be servants of the tribe. Oh, no, not another sickly daughter. Oh, dang it. We have another sickly one. Oh, and Beauty, no. Oh, we had one last healthy little girl. Oh, look, but she has H and K immunity. So actually that would make little Caste really important. All right, we're going to scooch him over here, and he's going to kind of cleverly hide in some of these bushes. Let's see. I think there's actually another berry bush somewhere nearby. So he's going to hide nearby, and he might end up becoming a good mate for Miri, who needs a new name in the future. We need to start doing some more exploring. So let's see. Miri, we're going to name her, let's see, let me get this name just right. Adriani. That's a lovely name. I really like that one. Yeah, Adriani. And she is Beauty's last child. That's so sad. I'm gonna miss Beauty so much. I think all of the others are gonna miss Beauty too, because she really did bring so much to them. And Nina, Oh, interestingly enough, Nina's not sick. I could have sworn she was going to get sick because she is watching after our little sickly creature. But she didn't get sick. So Miana, nope, oh, Miana, don't get too close to the rest of the tribe. We're gonna have to figure out what to do with Miana, but she is an unusual beauty because of her snout. And I wonder if any of the males might be able to breed with her. Owlclaw can! No wonder Miriam jumped over there to look at Owlclaw. Probably trying to figure out if he's good enough for her daughter. Already thinking super long and far ahead because Miriam doesn't have much longer for this world either. Alright, Sapira, I think we'll go ahead and start wiggling around. I think Owlclaw is a little bit of interest. Oh, look at that permanent nest. Oh, there's so many poisonous bushes here. Wow, I don't even know what I'm going to do with all those poisonous bushes. And Asira is unfortunately sick. So I think what's going to happen with little Asira, and none of my males really have Owlclaw. Well, Owlclaw and Asira could end up being mates. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I feel like Asira might end up becoming a servant. So, well, we'll worry about the caste and the hierarchy stuff in a little bit. Alright. Salsa is being told by his mother that he should be able to rule over everything that he sees. So we'll probably end up... Dude, does this little guy? Well, Dukta does have the Bearynea claw, and that is kind of like the signifier amongst the tribe members of a creature that might be worth it. But I don't know, because they were born from someone who is not a Bearynea. I just feel like they would end up being omegas, like they would end up being kind of like born into servitude in the tribe. So we'll have to see. I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do with them. All right, and then Zala and Elise. I think Elise was annoyed to have to slow down from her travels, so we'll send her out. And Zala, I think that she's a little bit put out because she didn't expect to end up having a child too, but they'll leave them under Solsa's care, and I feel like Solsa will end up kind of actually that's what would make them, less so the Bearynea claw and more so the fact that they have crippled paw. They would both end up becoming servants within the tribe, slaves within the tribe, so they were just kind of born into it. Sorry, boys. Alright, so they'll end up having to do collecting and clearing as well, and I think that Solsa will be being told at a young and very influential age that he can very well command them and make sure that they do whatever the Bearynea need. So I also think that little Israra, could she end up with... I don't think she's ended up with a nanny because Janet hasn't gotten one herself. So I think that we're gonna go ahead and have to like kind of abandon Israra along the edge of the cliff because I don't think Fifi would let that slide this time. So we might have to banish her and see what happens. All right, and Janet, I think Janet's also kind of sad because, you know, she just lost her mate too. So, oh no, we'll have her destroy the bush to try to, like, I don't know, help her daughter get more food or something. I didn't mean to destroy the bush actually. All right, and Fifi is about to pass away, but I think I can have her run over and she and Gaston can have one more child, which I think Fifi would consider quite important. Alright, there we go. And we'll go ahead and clear that grass away. Alright, so we're figuring it out. As usual with a new tribe, it takes a little bit to kind of figure out whose role should be what. Oh no! Oh yes, I heard a predator. Look, there's a predator. Oh, that would make everybody so excited. I think Elise would just be like beside herself with excitement. Except they have to do battle and then see. Let's see. Sakuro, do you see anything? All right, Owlclaw, get around the side. Oh, Owlclaw, you're distracted by finding a little bit of a mole. All right, so we actually have to get rid of the Bearynea, which sounds weird, but they have run into competition. Bearynea competition in the area, and we have to see if there's going to be, that would definitely get Zala's attention too. We have to see if there's going to be a baby Bearynea hiding somewhere near this one that we can make into a friendly Bearynea. That would make everybody so excited. Alright, and then Solsa will keep here until he's old enough to leave, but he would definitely have these two little ones kind of clearing up the grass and kind of teaching them that when they grow they need to clear the grass away, and that's going to be their job that they're assigned as little servants for now. And then Miana, is not old enough yet to be able to breed, but I think that Miriam would be quite insistent that she and Owlclaw end up becoming mates because they would have very strong, large children. And Niana does have a lot of strength, and I think that she also, yep, she has a big body, so she is actually considered quite the beauty among Bearynea tribe standards. So we'll have Nia have to kind of stay near her as her nanny. And if we had had a nanny for little Israra, we probably could have gotten away with that. But Janet was just never able to quite get to the point where she could go out and like maybe take over one of these little guys or go find a stray. I think that's kind of like where you end up with your servants. You either end up accidentally having one and then giving them to someone in the tribe. In this case, Salsa is in charge of both of these guys. Or you can go and find a like stray rogue creature who you then bring into the tribe. So yeah, I don't think that Salsa would, well, would Salsa want to watch over Israra? No, they wouldn't make really good mates. And Israra only has like one desirable trait for a Bearynea female. So, Alright, we'll figure out what to do. Meanwhile, Tata, I think Tata would want to come up and see what Salsa is doing. Alright, we don't want to make things too complicated too. Also, I think Mina just really loves chewing on these. Alright, and Adriana probably wants to start wiggling around. No, Adriana, you got too close! I didn't realize that Miana was still over there. No! Curses! Alright, well, let's jump over here. And then we might try to get one more child from Miriam, because she did end up having Niana of the Bearynea snout. And then Gaston, he's not gonna pass away just yet. It's kind of hard to see when it rains now. It's super duper dark. Alright, and Janet, yeah, I'm not sure what to do with the sickly creatures other than maybe have like a hard and fast rule where unless they happen to be high hierarchy and have a nanny that we could assign them, they have to go off the cliff and then we'll banish them, and if they happen to wander back up, cool beans for them, but otherwise we just kind of leave them free. Unless you're Casty and you just kind of like hide in the corners in the shadows. Because I need his immunity genes. So he gets to be an exception, but I think Israra has to be banished by her mother, and we'll get her about down here-ish, like in the water, and then banish her and we'll see what happens. But I'm really not sure what to do with the sick babies. I'm gonna have to think about that. It's kind of hard to do something with them because they can only move like one turn at a time. But for this tribe, I think banishment is like the kindest thing you could do for sure. Because otherwise you might end up becoming like little Tuk and Duktra here who just end up becoming like servants within the tribe. But that's kind of what they get for being rogue children. Sorry guys. Alright, so let's see what we've got going on over here. We got attacked, Alisi. Who's the strongest in the group? So Kuro has like no attack at all. Oh my gosh, that's gonna make him really look down on in the tribe. Alisi has 4 attack, so we took out that guy. And they're like frantically looking for the baby that would represent the friendly Bearynea. Dang it! Oh man, we didn't find one. Curses. Alright, well let's jump over here. Have to cure the bleeding. Alright. Alright, and Owlclaw might need to start mating with some of these older ones if we don't want to end up losing some of their immunity. So I think that Zala, especially after having a child of her own and not finding a Bearynea mate, may come around and find the next best thing, who is Owlclaw. Alright, and then Nia is not getting sick from Home Island immunity. I wonder if what I heard rumored... Oh, no, but Adriana is. That's really interesting. That is so confusing. Oh, well, Nia can come over and try to get some fresh mole meat for her charge. But I think she does need to stay, like, more or less right next to the creature that she's watching over. Whoa, and Miana also has the Bearynea hind legs. She ended up with, like, all of the traits that would be considered super desirable and beautiful in this tribe. Alright, Adriana will have scooch around. Oh, good, she found a plant for sickness. We'll let Adriana go ahead and chew on that. I think that Owlclaw would be so excited because his little sister just found something that will make her feel better. They don't know what it is just yet, but she's about to eat it. Alright, and then Rarisi, I didn't give you your new name, my dear. Nina is still just busy kind of chewing on these nuts, even though she should probably find something with a little bit more meat to it. And then we've got little Rarimi, who's been born into the bones of her mother's nest. Oh my gosh. Alright, well we're gonna have to give her a new name too. I think I need to get 2 new names. So we'll go with Ooh, Katila. I like that one. All right, we have Katila, and then I'm pretty sure I did not give Risi her proper name, so clearly, because that's one of the ones that comes in niche. So, let's see, Aisha. And then we have Aisha. There we go. So a lot of lovely females, and we need to start sorting things out. But I do think that Israra does need to be kind of like, she needs to be abandoned to our waterways. And I think that, unfortunately, well, who should we have do it? Because I don't think her mom would actually like send her in. But I wonder who would have the task of banishing them. Probably Gaston? I think Gaston would have the task of banishing this little one, unfortunately. There we go, because he is one of the alphas. So, let's see. Alright, alpha and banish. There we are. Oh, and I think that would make Janet so sad. I truly do think it would make her really, really sad, but it would also make her even more determined to hide her son, Kasti. So, we'll send him into the like bushes. We'll hide him. All right, get back in those grasses. I thought there was more grass here. So yeah, Janet would probably really go out of her way to try to hide her son now, and now that her daughter has been banished. But I do think we'll do that, like I said, unless they have some sort of nanny creature that has fallen under their claim, like any of Salsa's children. If he ended up with one or two sickly children, he might give the strongest of them a keeper, like a nanny, who would be one of these two, and that would make sense. So yeah, we'll probably start working like that. There's starting to be kind of like an entire chain of hierarchy, not just an over blanket hierarchy, but like each little family segment and group has their own little events going on, which is quite intriguing. And I think that Tata, who's smaller, is actually looking at Salsa as somebody to follow, and Salsa, who's just a little bit younger but just as strong as Owlclaw, might be looking around himself going, wait a second, he has got a couple creatures that he gets to command around as servants right over here. And he also has a eager little follower in Tata who thinks that, you know, Salsa is so cool and look how strong he is. And he gets to like boss these other guys around, and that's awesome. So we might have to see if there's a little bit of a power struggle going on in the future for sure. And meanwhile, let's see, Shipra, can you destroy this? She's gonna just start knocking down those poisonberry bushes for sure. Oh, and once you destroy them, they don't come back. That's kind of nifty for this tribe. They're not really interested in those as much as they're interested in finding some fresh meat, which so far only Mia of all the creatures is really bringing to us, which is kind of ironic. Alright, and Ashia will get you over into the grasses. But alright, so that is way longer of a ramble today than I expected, but there's a lot going on, and as their adventures start unfolding, we are actually starting to develop quite a consistent sense of just who the alphas of this tribe are. Hint, Owlclaw for sure, but then Owlclaw also has a lot of prestige and strength because he's probably going to end up having Miana as his mate, and Miana happens to have those perfect Bearynea hybrid traits. So there's going to be a lot of interest in just like watching all of these things as their little stories unravel, and we've hardly even touched the island. So I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.